All right, let's talk about something that drives so many of us crazy. It's this weird paradox where you're making more money than you ever have before, but you still feel broke. Your stress levels around money haven't dropped an inch. In fact, maybe you feel just as financially strapped as you did 5 years ago. So what's going on here? Well, we're going to get into the psychology of why this happens.
Yeah, this is the question, isn't it? The one that can really keep you up at night. You finally got that promotion, that big raise. On paper, you're doing great. Your paycheck is bigger than it's ever been. But that feeling of actual, solid financial security, it just always seems to be just over the horizon. If any of that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. And the answer, funny enough, usually has very little to do with the actual numbers in your bank account.
And this quote, this right here is the absolute heart of the matter. It's so powerful. You don't just magically become wealthier because your income goes up. Nope, you actually fall back down to the level of your habits and your mindset. That's what we're really going to unpack here. It's not about making more money. It's about the systems you have in place or don't have for what you do with it.
So let's diagnose this thing. What's the real problem? Well, it's not what you think. The issue isn't really out there in the world. It's in here, in our heads. Our brains are kind of wired with these, let's call them glitches, or old programming, that can totally sabotage our financial goals without us even realizing it, even when we have the absolute best intentions. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. The hardest part isn't making the money, it's keeping it. It's wild when you think about it, right? We spend decades of our lives learning how to earn money. We go to school, we get degrees, we climb that corporate ladder. But how much time do we spend learning the psychology of managing it, of growing it? Almost none. And that's the real battle. Okay, so if we had to name a #1 suspect for this whole feeling broke thing, it would be this guy, lifestyle creep. Oh man, is it sneaky. It's so subtle and so seductive. You get a pay raise, and what happens? Suddenly that slightly nicer car or that bigger apartment or going out for those fancy dinners, they don't just feel like a treat anymore. They feel deserved. They become your new baseline, your new normal. And just like that, poof, that extra income is gone before it ever had a chance to become actual wealth.
And this chart just shows it perfectly. Look at this. You get this nice big salary increase. That's the first bar. But then look at the second bar, new expenses. It shoots up to eat almost the entire raise. And what's left for actual savings? That tiny little sliver at the end. That's it. This is exactly the cycle that has so many of us feeling like we're just running on a financial hamster wheel, getting nowhere.
Now, lifestyle creep gets a lot of the attention, but it's not working alone. It's just one of several, let's call them mental saboteurs. These are these deep psychological traps that keep us stuck, and a lot of the time, we don't even know we've fallen into them.
So here they are, 7 of the biggest culprits. We've got stuff like identity tied to spending. You know, where your sense of who you are gets all tangled up in the things you buy. You feel like you need that designer bag or that specific car to show people you've made it. Then there's fear of losing money. This one is huge. It can paralyze you, making you too scared to invest, so your money just sits there, losing value to inflation. And of course, in the age of Instagram and TikTok, comparison with others is on a whole other level. It's this constant, exhausting pressure to spend just to feel like you're keeping up. Every single one of these is working against you. And that really brings it all home, doesn't it? This isn't about being a financial wizard or knowing some secret stock market trick. It's about psychology. It's about mastering your own mind. Just understanding that these traps exist is the first massive step to disarming them and finally breaking free.
All right, so that's the problem. Enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about the solution, the escape plan. And the good news, the really good news, is that you absolutely can escape these traps. It all comes down to actively rewiring your brain. It's about making a conscious choice to shift your perspective away from what's keeping you stuck and toward a mindset that's all about growth.
This is the shift right here. Look at the difference. The poor mindset is stuck in scarcity. There's never enough. It's based on fear. What if I lose it all? It's all about instant gratification. I want it, and I want it now. But the wealth mindset? It's the complete opposite. It focuses on abundance. How can I create more? It's based on growth. How can I make this money grow? And it's all about having a long-term vision, thinking about the future value, not just the immediate want. It is a world of difference.
And if you want to boil it all down to one single idea, it's this. You have to shift from being a consumer to being an owner. Think about it. What's a consumer's main job? To spend money. That's it. But what's an owner's or an investor's main job? To buy things, assets that make money. As soon as you start thinking like an owner instead of a consumer, trust me, every single financial decision you make starts to look different.
Okay, theory is great, but putting this stuff into practice is what really counts. So let's get to the final, and honestly, the most important part. What are the actual, concrete steps you can take, starting right now, to break this cycle for good?
Here we go, a simple 4-step plan. Number 1, identify your trap. And you've got to be brutally honest with yourself here. Which one of those 7 traps really gets you? Is it comparison? Is it instant gratification? Just naming your nemesis is half the battle. Okay, number 2, define your goal. What does wealthy actually mean to you? Forget the fancy cars for a second. Is it freedom to travel? Is it security for your family? Is it time to work on your passion project? Get crystal clear on that. Number 3, and this is the big one, automate your future. This is your secret weapon. The day you get paid, have money automatically transferred to your savings and investments before you even have a chance to spend it. You pay your future self first, period. And finally, number 4, practice gratitude. I know it might sound a little cheesy, but this is a powerful antidote to that toxic comparison trap. It forces you to focus on what you have, not what you lack.
So that leaves us with one final question. Because real change, it never starts with a giant leap. It starts with one small, concrete step. So after everything we've just talked about, I want you to ask yourself, what is the one habit, the one tiny shift in how you think or what you do that you're going to commit to changing starting today?